Hello and welcome inside the VI. I'm your host, Tally Campbell, alongside Aaron Schultz. We'll have our discussion with the panel. On today's show, we're talking, of course, with the discussion panel about various things at VIJHL. We've got your Nanaimo Toyota Sign Game of the Week, and we got your Spotlight Player brought to you by Country Grocer, and even the Fight of the Week, which I don't think is a fight, but we'll let you be the judge as well. But first, it is time for discussion with the panel. Of course, Aaron Schultz with us. Madison not here this week. Should players in the VIJHL and junior levels be allowed to request a trade?
I would have to say so, Talit, because the fact that, first of all, they pay to play for junior B teams, so if you pay, I say that automatically gives you a human right to request a trade, and it could be for various reasons. A family emergency come up. You can be going to school somewhere. There are multiple situations in where, say, if you go to Oceanside or Victoria, that just doesn't work anymore. I say you have at least have the right to request a trade. Whether you get it or not is a completely different situation, but the right to ask for a trade, I'd say yes.
I think there's a gray line in that issue, because I believe that, yes, a player should be allowed to request a trade. It's just like you can request to be transferred at work. But I have a problem if it's because your team's bad. I have a problem if you're going, for example, let's say from the Oceanside Generals or the Peninsula Panthers who are last in the league to West Shore Canberra who are first in the league. I have a problem with that. Like you said, though, it could be for personal reasons. So I believe it's up to the coaches and general managers kind of mandate to say what the gray line is here. I mean, I've got some incidents, not in the junior B round, but where a junior player requested a trade. And the coach did the next day, the general manager, and it was requested to the worst team in the other league outside of BC. So, you got to kind of watch how a player goes about that. But like I said, I do not think a player should request a trade because the team's bad.
I think that there might be a fair rule on that because say if you're a 19 or 20 or 21-year-old in your last season in the VIJHL and say if you're on a terrible team that's not going to be making the playoffs and you want to win once.
It's basically just the rich are getting richer every year.
Yeah, it seems that way, but again, what if you're in their situation, it's your last season, you only got one more shot left to win, I say you at least have the right to request a trade if you're given enough time to 4 years and the rest of the team isn't coming up to your standards if you're a hard worker. I say you at least get a chance to deserve to ask.
I'm with you in that. Yeah. I just have a problem when the rich teams just get richer. For example, let's look at Canberra Storm. They got to the player from Peninsula. I don't agree with it, Connor Logan, but he probably wanted to trade because they were his last season. But the rich get richer, as simple as that.
I know, and that gets boring when you have Campbell River and Nanaimo and Victoria on top all the time, but I do agree with you. I wish we'd had more parity in the VIJHL, but that's just the way it is. You have to consider players' feelings as well. Moving on to our next question, Tally. Do you feel that teams should discipline their players for off-ice behavior that may be considered inappropriate?
That question is a very controversial question. I believe that, you have a team where some people are 19 who are legal enough to be drinking at a legal age and partying, where others who are younger are not allowed to. Do I believe a team should be able to? Yes, absolutely. I believe it's a team's mandate as to, straighten these players out because you're not just creating hockey players. If we're talking hockey, you're creating young men. And you learn that through all levels of hockey, whether it be major, midget, junior B, junior A, WHL, etc. You're creating these guys to be young men. So if you let them party, you let them to do drugs, etc. They're going to turn out to be not what we want as young citizens in our country, and that's when trouble happens. There have been a few incidents that have been rumored in the VIJHL with various teams that have been holding parties and cops involved and governors and such. And to me, we need to, as a league, step up and have a mandate, not just from the team standpoint, because not every governor, head coach, and manager is going to agree with what the punishment should be. You're going to get someone like who is better in the league, Campbell, West Shore, etc., Nanaimo, Victoria, who have probably a higher standard. And if you go partying the day before a game, you're going to be punished the next day. Where teams who are a little bit lower in the league aren't as much caring as what's going on, so they may let their players have a little more freedom when it comes to it, just because they need to enjoy it still. So I believe that it needs to be a league mandate, and it needs to be one that is hard, because if you're letting these players do it, they're going to continue to do it their whole lifetime without any punishment, without any consequences. So to me, this is more than just a team standard. This is a league standard.
And just to get your thoughts on more of that, say, I do agree that the league should mandate to make sure it doesn't get out of hand, but say you're a little bit of a younger player, you go to a party, and you show up to a game or practice the next day. You're not hungover, you're well rested, you're ready to go, and you're responsible enough. Do you think you should be disciplined still then?
So you're trying to tell me that we're going to go away from the law that's in British Columbia and Canada to let underagers drink because they can be responsible about it? No, absolutely not. No one who's under the age of 19 is allowed to, be drinking in public. It's as simple as that, even at a party. I'm sure all their parents are not within standing beside them so they can drink. So no, I don't believe so. Do I think players should be able to have fun? Absolutely. I'm not trying to say that we need to have this huge strict mandate of no having fun, no this, it's strict. But when it comes to illegal activity, no, it's simple as that. It cannot happen.
Okay.
It's now time to pass things on to the news in the VIJHL. And in news this week, the only move happening, the now Buccaneers moved up defenseman Jake Calvary to the Battle Force North Stars, the SJHL. That's all news in the VIJHL. We're now passing to the fight of the week. This week we're featuring the now Buccaneers number 9, Jordan Levesque, versus number 41 of the Oceanside Generals, Chandler Breakery. It was called a fight, and even Jordan Levesque got the instigator. I don't think it was a fight, though. You be the judge in this one for our fight of the week.
Together right now, Oceanside player and a Buccaneer. And it looks like it is Jordan Levesque, the Oceanside player, in the corner. And Steve Brown looks like he will be calling a couple penalties here to see who it is for Oceanside, as both players got tangled up as the play went to the other side, almost out of the Oceanside zone. Now it'll be number 41, Chandler Bruckshire, and Jordan Levesque.
The Nanaimo Toyota Simon game of the week this week is the Comox Valley Glacier Kings versus the Peninsula Panthers.
Gets the wheels turned in there as he skates it in. He goes wide.
And I don't know how there's no call there.
Uncalled. Should have been a 5-on-3, but now Quinlan Moore winds up with a big shot. Oh, and it's on the doorstep, and and a nice goal by Mitchell Hawes, just picking up that garbage.
What a backhand, far down and in.
It was a nice redirect in front of the net. We still have Crisp. We have McReynolds now behind the net. Surveys the ice, sends it to the point. To Darian Hamilton, who walks the line with a nice little wrist shot, and it's on the goal!
Great redirect by Grant Isles to force that rebound. This one-time call-up. Movie quotes, whatever.
I don't know. I'm kind of like the Rain Man, except I suck at math. And a nice shot, and Hawes is there.
Again.
Hawes is there for the goal. I'm sticking with it, Cam. That's the Michigan garbage man right there. Johnny on the spot. Mitchell Hawes. Clearing it out. Jordan Crisp now with Grant Isles. Definitely a line you don't want to be in your own zone against. Brendan Greer from the point. Nice hard wrist shot. It squirts out to Brendan McReynolds. Scores, Cam.
A huge rebound given up by goaltender William Harvey there.
And now it's time for a brand new segment here on Inside the VI. It's Where Are They Now? A segment of the show where we catch up with some VIJHL alumni and see what they're up to. Joining me on the line now is Shawn McBride, a former player for the Saanich Braves. And Shawn, talk about some of the great memories with the Braves.
Well, definitely I met a lot of great friends while playing with the Braves, and I still keep in touch with many of them. And we also had both years I played there, we had good teams and we had good playoff runs, and those were always really exciting. And it was fun going deep in the playoffs and winning some big games and losing some big games, but definitely memories I'll always have.
And Shawn, what things in particular did you learn during your time with Junior B hockey?
Well, I just had time to grow as a player and get ready for Junior A. We had our coach Brad Cook, big emphasis on player development, and we got time to work out and get stronger and just, like I said, get prepared for Junior A. I got to affiliate, and I got lots of ice time with the Braves, so it definitely helped me get better as a player.
Now, Shawn, you completed your first season in Junior A hockey last year with the Victoria Grizzlies. Talk a little bit about the transition between Junior B to Junior A hockey.
It's definitely a huge change. It's way more commitment. It's pretty much full-time hockey every day, 5 or 6 hours a day. You're working out. You're doing school stuff involved with hockey. You're practicing for 2 hours a day. So it's definitely a commitment. You have to love it to play Junior A because you're doing it so much. It's faster. There's everybody's a good player in Junior A, so it's tough to get away with some of the stuff you can get away with in Junior B. So it's definitely an adjustment, and it's a challenge for sure.
Talk a little bit about the feelings you had when you were named captain this season.
Oh, it was a huge honor to not only be named captain, but to be named captain for my hometown team. It's such an honor, and I'm really proud that I accomplished that, and I work hard every day to try to prove that I was a good choice for captain. But yeah, it's definitely just such a cool honor, and I'll never forget it.
Finally, Shawn, talk a little bit about where you would like to see your hockey career go from here.
Definitely the short-term goal right now is to try to obtain a scholarship for a Div 1 program down in the States, play NCAA hockey. I've definitely been gotten some interest this year, which is good, and gotta keep working hard towards that, and then we'll see where we go from there. I want to keep improving and see where hockey takes me.
Great, thanks, Shawn. That's Shawn McBride, VIJHL alumni and former player for the Saanich Braves. We're going to pass things back to Tally Campbell now, and Tally's got our Spotlight Player of the Week. And this week, our spotlight is on Tyler Madden of the Comox Valley Glacier Kings.
Tyler Madden is this week's Spotlight Player of the Week, brought to you by Country Grocer. He wears number 17 for the Comox Valley Glacier Kings. 17 years old, hails from Powell River, British Columbia. In 13 games played so far in the 2014-15 season, he has 3 goals, 2 assists, for a total of 5 points. This week's featured Player of the Week, brought to you by Country Grocer, is Tyler Madden of the Comox Valley Glacier Kings.
And now let's take a look at the rest of the scores in the VIJHL for this week.
Kicking things off on Tuesday, October 21st, West Shore Wolves beat the Comox Valley Glacier Kings at the Q Center Victoria by a score of 7-1. On Wednesday, Kerr Park Islanders lost to Saanich Braves by a score of 5-2. On Thursday, the Nile Buccaneers beat the Oceanside Generals 4-2, and the Victoria Cougars beat the West Shore Wolves 8-3. On Friday, 2 games on tap. The Campbell River Storm made double digits by beating the Kerr Park Islanders by a score of 10-5, and the Peninsula Panthers beat the Comox Valley Glacier Kings 4-1. And finally, 3 games on tap for Saturday, October 25th. The Campbell River Storm beat the Kerr Park Islanders 8-3. The Victoria Cougars beat the Oceanside Generals at Oceanside Place by a score of 6-2, and the Comox Valley Glacier Kings got a shutout, beating the Peninsula Panthers 4-0. That's all in scores in this week of the VIJHL.
And thanks for watching this edition of Inside the VI here on iNet Online. Thank you to Aaron Schultz for being a part of the show. Again, of course, to our cameraman editor, Christopher Munns-Micklin, and to Shawn McBride for being our Spotlight Player. Have yourself a fantastic week. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Inside the VI for the latest news and information in the VIJHL. Have a good night, everyone.